Hello, everyone. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this. XRP may drop further, but here's what truly matters. Black Swan Capitalist sums it up. What he's saying is, don't look at the short-term XRP price movements because they're difficult to predict due to factors such as regulation and exchange liquidity. He prioritizes long-term positioning over short-term trading. Here's the way I looked at it as an XRP investor for years. You always got to look down the road. Where is XRP going to be 6 months from now? Where's it going to be a year from now? Then you look at all the headlines that are dropping at the same time. Like Ripple just did this and Ripple did that. They made this acquisition. They opened up these rails. That's what you got to be looking at as an XRP investor. Because when you see all of that coming together, you start to realize that the price today doesn't really matter at all. It's more about where the price is going to be a year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now. I know over the coming months, there's going to be a major run-up on XRP. But after that, I think XRP is going a hell of a lot higher in the short term. Banking groups are now lobbying other senators against the latest unreleased Clarity Act text. A new report shared by Brendan Peterson says some banking trade associations have started taking their concerns about the latest Tillis, also Brooks, stablecoin yield compromise to other senators on the Senate Banking Committee. So in other words, here's what I see. The banks are saying, we don't like what these people are coming up with, so let's go see who we can buy, whose vote we can buy against the Clarity Act. You know, as long as this keeps going on, nothing is going to get done in the United States. This is just going to be delay after delay after delay. Who the hell cares what the banks want? You are there for the American people to get things done. Get it done and stop talking about it already. The sooner that we get market structure, the sooner innovation can push forward in the United States. Global central banks now own the most gold this century, and yet people still don't think we're going to see gold-backed currencies very soon. This is the same reason I always said you don't need XRP backed by gold. In fact, you don't even want it to be backed by gold. It's going to be way more valuable than gold because it's going to be moving gold-backed currencies from point A to point B all around the world. And then you look beyond that and tokenized assets, oil, digital gold running across the XRP ledger in the form of tokenized gold. XRP is going to be so much bigger. 13 trillion is the low-hanging fruit for XRP. Take a listen to this.
I just wonder how deep Ripple could potentially go once that this legislation, this piece of legislation is put through. What kind of tricks do they have up their sleeve that they have literally on, like the finger on the press release button for the day that this hits? What is going to end up? I can't wait for that because I think we're going to see a lot of companies just start bombarding the industry. The news is going to come so fast and crazy to keep track of it. It's going to be crazy.
You know, I totally agree with that. There's so many things I'm sure that we're not aware of, but I would say the one thing that's staring us right in the face is the $13 trillion of transactional volume that G Treasury does every year, and the $3 trillion that Ripple Prime does that used to be Hidden Road. Mm-hmm. So there is an enormous potential there. And as we've heard Brad Garlinghouse comment in interviews and conferences and things of that nature, he has told us directly that not $1 or one transaction has used digital assets, stablecoins, crypto in any way. So it's all sitting there waiting at the ready That's a $13 trillion light switch just waiting to go.
So I would expect that maybe 10% of that 13 trillion will be moved, most likely by XRP. A lot will also be moved through RLUSD, and then over time, those numbers would change. But this could also be a quick price surge at some point in the very near future. Maybe this is how we see the first push up into double digits. We got to keep an eye on where that is going as well. This comes from Smoke. ISO 222 is being extended to specifically include digital currencies. You know, everybody's still thinking ISO is dead because we haven't seen any value come from that yet. This is still to come. They're still putting all of this in place still today. And through ISO messaging, you're going to see the usage of a handful of cryptocurrencies. That's what's really going to change the price over a short period of time, but it's going to be gradual over a period of time because, of course, ISO is going to play a major role in moving central bank digital currencies as well. This is all pieces of the puzzle that we're still waiting on. And the one ISO coin, I hate to say ISO coin because it's more the networks are compliant, which makes the cryptocurrency compliant, is IOTA. Once IOTA finally starts to break out, I think retail's going to miss out on IOTA because that's more around Industry 4.0, smart cities, smart houses, machines paying other machines. That's one cryptocurrency I always urge people to look at because I think too many people are sleeping on it still. Big moves for Coinbase derivatives. They've just filed for a new crypto market maker program starting May 1st, 2026. The program aims to boost liquidity across a massive range of futures, including Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, Ether, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Avalanche, Polkadot, Chainlink, SHIB, Stellar, Hedera, Solana, Cardano, and Sui, setting the stage for a liquid 2026. I want to see how this goes. I want to see if this changes the price of these cryptocurrencies. More liquidity means higher prices. And once again, Elon Musk is pushing universal high income. Take a listen to what he says here.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think we should be sort of complacent. We do need to be careful because the future is a range of possible outcomes, and they're not all great. But at this point, I do agree with you that it's likely to be great. It's probably 80% likely, maybe more likely to be great. And I do think we'll have universal high income. We're basically just issuing money to people, and the really just because the output of goods and services will so far exceed the money supply that that effectively you have deflation, because just deflation is just the ratio of the outputs of goods and services to the money supply. So if the rate of growth of goods and services far exceeds the rate of growth of the money supply, which I predict will happen, then you will have deflation.
What he's telling you is this: everything in the future is going to be free. Healthcare is going to be free. Everything's going to be free, and you won't need money. That's kind of the sales pitch he's been pushing recently. But the only difference between universal high income and universal basic income is two words: high and basic. When you hear universal high income, it's like everybody's going to be a millionaire and everybody's going to have everything they ever needed. Universal basic income is more likely what we're going to get. Because you got to remember, when the guy building the robots is pushing this narrative, it's to get people on board with that narrative. It's like, hey, build the robots as quick as you possibly can, because I want to get universal high income and I don't want to go to work anymore. And I want to have all the time to do all the things I ever wanted to do. When you mention universal basic income, people are like, well, I don't want universal basic income, and I don't want the robots taking my job. That's what the difference is here. I think it's a sales pitch that he's pushing, and a lot of people are on board with this. I mean, everybody wants this to happen. Mason versus Lewis says, AI will retire us all. AI utilizing crypto to pay each other is going to retire XRP holders even before the rise of the robots. I mean, the true rise of the robots. Most XRP holders will long be retired. But look at it like this. Everybody wants this to happen because they want one thing, time. And time is more important than money, because you can't buy more time. When your time's up, your time is up. You could always earn more money over time, but everybody wants the free time to do everything they ever wanted to do. And that's what XRP does. It's going to give you the ability to break away from your 9 to 5. It's going to allow you to earn while you're out doing the things you wanted to do. But to bank on AI is going to retire everyone because it's going to take their job. What comes next is the scary part, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. I mean, think about it like this. People are already losing their jobs right now, and the government isn't offering anything. They're not giving anyone universal basic income. In fact, universal basic income is still in the testing stage in a lot of states throughout the United States. And only a handful of people are chosen to get that universal basic income right now. So people could face a lot of hard times ahead before universal basic income even happens. How should we handle Satoshi's 2 million Bitcoins? So everything that they come up with here in this clip, it's all about centralization. Yet these are the same people that always tell you only Bitcoin's decentralized and everything else is trash. But this is going to happen. They have to come up with a solution to quantum computing. Remember, this wasn't a big deal, but now all of a sudden everybody is panicking about this because they know it's going to happen sooner than they think. Michael Saylor sold them a false narrative that quantum computing isn't going to happen until 2035 or 2050. Now they're starting to realize it's most likely only a couple of years away. And a Bitcoin fork is inevitable. Take a listen to this.
And I haven't even asked you the biggest one yet, which is about this whole BIP introducing taking Satoshi's wallet. Can we touch this before we go?
Yeah,
I thought they called this freedom money, man. I thought they called it freedom money. Now they want to steal Satoshi's wallet, brother. How do we write that one?
You can go look at my tweets and my podcast from over 3 years ago, and I said a fork is inevitable.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely coming. And I think that is going to destroy everything around Bitcoin. It's not going to go to zero, but most people that are enthusiasts around Bitcoin right now, most likely they're going to start heading to the door. And retail should already start heading to the door. You want to beat Michael Saylor and Jack Mallers out of Bitcoin before they start selling off. And here's the quiet part out loud.
Into big time. But here's my hot take.
All right.
Lightning Network sucks, and you shouldn't be trying to use Bitcoin for payments.
He's not wrong. Lightning absolutely sucks. But that's what they push all over X. And the reason I want to point this out is Lightning Labs is also a partner with the World Economic Forum. And I said in a video years ago, you know, the World Economic Forum, they're always pushing central bank digital currencies. And when you have a central bank digital currency in your country, you're not going to have competition to that central bank digital currency. And what's the narrative that Bitcoin maxis have been pushing for years? Opt out of the CBDC and buy Bitcoin. So if they see it as a threat, they'll just shut down the Lightning Network. I mean, really, what do they have to lose? Nothing. But I believe the World Economic Forum has more control over Lightning Labs than people want to admit. But Lightning sucks anyway. The future for Bitcoin is this. You tokenize it and you run it across the XRP ledger. You don't even have to tokenize it. You could transact over the XRP ledger right now in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin maxis will never use the XRP ledger because they are too proud to say XRP and the XRP ledger is better than Bitcoin. And the World Economic Forum being partnered up with Lightning is also another issue for me because for years, Bitcoin Maxi said, Ripple's a partner of the World Economic Forum. They're an evil company. I would never invest in XRP. Meanwhile, they're all still using the Lightning Network, which is partnered with the World Economic Forum. These people are such hypocrites. It's just like they want to steal all of that Satoshi Bitcoin. I mean, some of them are probably going to accomplish that goal once quantum computing gets here. But it was never freedom money. It was all about greedy people trying to steal from each other. And that's what I really hate about the Bitcoin community. That's why I'm a member of the XRP army. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.